Okay, today we're going to talk about one of our family's very favorite children's books, and it's the Frog and Toad series. These actually have been around for a while. Arnold Lobel published them in the early 70s, and they're so cute. Micah was talking about, he mentioned that he learned to read with them. Yeah. So we did the one book, which there's a review on, of the Learn to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And so you were going along in that book and learning all those lessons, and then what happened?
Well, then I finished that book, and so I wanted to start a real book, and then I started reading Frog and Toad, and then I read all of those, and that's sort of how I started reading books.
And so what did you like about them?
I don't know, the stories.
What made you keep reading?
The stories were like fast-moving and funny, so they were kind of fun to read. And they were short too, so you felt like you read a lot. And you could read a whole story, and then you could keep going.
So you think they're a good one for moms to start kids on after they've got some foundation? They are for early readers. His language and the words he chooses are simpler words. One morning Toad sat in bed. I have many things to do, he said. I will write them all down on a list so I can remember them. And so you also like the idea that you finished a whole story.
Yeah.
And you feel like you've read a lot. It's got a big picture on almost every page, and then enough text to make you feel like you're kind of a big kid that's doing a lot of reading, but not a ton on each page, so you're kind of moving quickly. And they're really cute, and most of them are pretty funny. Did you want to say something about them, Seth?
Mom.
Which one are you looking for?
The list.
Okay, so this is, there's several volumes. We had a big fat one that had several books in it. This one is just one book that has 5 stories in it. And the first story in this one is called A List. You remember what that one's about, Seth?
Toad sat in bed. He had many things to do. So he said, wake up, eat breakfast, go to Frog's house, take a walk with Frog, eat supper, go to bed. And so he woke up, so he crossed out, wake up. Then Frog got out of bed. He sat down at the dinner table. At the table. Then he crossed out.
So Seth, this is what we have to make clear. You've been learning to read in the 100 Easy Lessons book, right? And you're about halfway through. So you don't know all these words, right? You're just telling the story because we read it so much and you just remember it, right? But you're not reading all the words. But you know about how many of these words do you know? You know about half of them, maybe? So Seth could probably start practicing with Frog and Toad. He's actually just turned 6. So he's been working on the 100 Easy Lessons book. He's about halfway through. And you could probably start working on, what other books have we been having you read some of the words? In some of our board books, we've been having you read about half of them. Also in our Dr. Seuss, right?
I love this one.
You've been reading about half of it in Dr. Seuss. So he could start reading Frog and Toad. So if you've got a reader who's I don't know, a couple hundred words under their belt. I just, with all 6 of my kids, I've done the same thing. I've done Learn to Read with 100 Easy Lessons, and then we've transitioned into board books and Dr. Seuss and Frog and Toad. So what did you want to say about Frog and Toad, Camille?
About Frog and Toad, I love about his list blew away.
His list blew away, you're right, that's what happened. He went on a walk with Toad and his list blows away, I mean with Frog. And Frog's kind of the more stable one and Toad's kind of the one that does the funny, sarcastic stuff. And so the list blows away, and then you guys remember what he has to do after the list blows away? What happens? We don't have time to go through the whole thing, Seth, so just tell us the ending of it, what happens in this story. So show this picture. So the list blew away. They went on a walk just like he was supposed to. We went to Frog's house and he went on a walk. Then the list blew away, and then what happened?
And then Frog said,
Just a minute. He said what?
And Camille, I was gonna read that book.
Okay, she will. Just let her say it. Oh, okay. So go ahead and finish that.
Frog said, "Oh, but after it." Toad said, "No, we can't do that because that's not one of the things I wrote on my list."
Yeah, those are the funny things that happen in Frog and Toad, huh? It wasn't on his list, and so he can't do it because he only can do the things on his list that day.
Frog came back.
Yeah, Frog looked for the list, right?
Frog came back.
He looked and looked for the
To
list, he couldn't
Toad.
find it. Yeah.
I am so sorry. I could not catch your list.
Yeah, so I could not catch your list right there. And then what does Toad say?
Blah.
Blah. He always says that. So then what's the end of the story?
Toad remembered the last thing that he wrote on his list. Go to bed.
Yeah, go to sleep.
So he wrote on the ground with a stick, go to bed. Then he crossed out, go to bed.
Yep. So they sit there all evening because he can't do anything because it's not on his list of things to do. And so finally it's nighttime and they're starting to get tired. And Frog's like, I gotta go to sleep, I'm tired. And Toad remembers, oh, that's right, that was the last thing on my list. So like Seth said, he wrote it on the ground and he crossed it out and they went to sleep. So they're good friends and it's about their friendship. Which was one of your favorite stories, Micah?
I like the one where the garden one, where he had to, he thought his seeds were scared to grow, so he like played the violin to them and
And
stuff like
he yelled, "Now seeds, start growing!"
Yeah, and Frog tells him they're not gonna grow because they're too scared to grow.
Yeah.
What's your favorite story, Camille, of Frog and Toad?
My favorite story about Frog and Toad, he said, the golden... No,
Uh-huh. There's some other really cute ones. My favorite one is cookies. And they have to have willpower so they can stop eating the cookies. So cute and funny. So I would say about 3-ish, kids would start being really interested in Frog and Toad. There's dragons and giants. This doesn't have all of them. Remember the one where they get on the sled and they get out of control going down the sled and Toad's going alone and he's like, Frog, you're right, this is really easy, I can do this. And then Toad's like, and then he looks back and he realizes Frog isn't with him and then he gets scared and then he crashes. So they're really, really cute. This is volume 2. We don't have time to tell any more of the stories. They'll have to get the book and read them themselves, Seth. So we love cookies. We love all of them. Oh, I know our other favorite one. It's not in this one. It's in the other book. Remember the swimming?
Oh, I can get
When they go swimming.
I'll go get it.
Well, I'm not sure where it is right now. What do you remember about the swimming one? Did you like that one, Seth?
Oh, yeah, he's like, Toad. Well, I get my bathing suit on. Don't look at me.
Uh-huh.
But I don't wear a bathing suit, but I do.
Yeah.
Why? And don't look at me when I go in the water.
And he has a funny swimming suit. I love the simple values of just being good friends and treating each other kindly. That's how Frog and Toad behave, and they're good friends. Anyway, obviously we read them a lot. We love them. Frog and Toad by Arnold Lobel. Get them, read them, enjoy. They're lots of fun.